The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds. As a deer hunter, I want to know all I can about America's favorite big game animal. That's why I became a deer farmer. Without deer farms, we lose our greatest resource for research and whitetail management. With them, we gain more knowledge than ever before. Join me as we discover the truth about whitetails and meet those who work every day to preserve this great species for future generations. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. Just check this out, more massive antlers than you could ever imagine. Hey everybody, welcome to the show in the beautiful state of Ohio, where today we're visiting S S Whitetail Galore. This place is also known as the Bone Factory. You're going to find out why. You know, every person out there, if you're a sports fan, you have your favorite sports team. And there are some teams that are dynasties through the years or through the decades, it seems like. And in the deer farming industry, Billy Sage is that dynasty. They have stacked the genetics so deep for so long that literally every one of the deer that you see in their yearling pen, for example, every one of them may be the next superstar in the deer industry.
Some things just happened by accident, and the Bone Factory was nothing more than that. I knew I'd stumbled into something. Max Bove is regarded by many as the king of sires. And then come Shadow. Mitzi and I, we truly believe this is the house that Shadow built.
Folks, I'm a deer farmer, have been for quite some time, and I'm in awe at what I see here. How are you doing this morning?
This is the Bone Factory.
I asked Billy how he came up with the name, the Bone Factory.
Some things just happened by accident, and the Bone Factory was nothing more than that. Out mowing the pen one day and had my phone in my pocket, it goes off. It's James Butler from High Roller. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Man, just sitting here." All these bucks start coming around the mower. And it's a group of yearlings we called them the Boys in Black, and Black Shadow, TNT, just some awesome frame, Black Mamba, beautiful yearlings. And I said, "No, actually, James, I'm looking at the Bone Factory." And he said, "What?" I said, "Yeah," I said, "I'm looking at the Bone Factory." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I got all these big bucks just coming around a lot more." I said, "It's the Bone Factory." And he's like, "Wait a minute, what would you take for that right now? Would you take 25,000 cash for that logo right now?" And when he said that, I knew I'd stumbled into something. And I said, "No way, this is the Bone Factory."
In the deer farming industry, there's a deer that is probably one of the best known deer of all time. He was a grandsire, and I'm talking about one of the best sires ever born. His name was Max Bove. And Billy was a part of Max Bove. Billy had ownership in that deer.
So in the 20 plus years of deer farming, Max Bove is regarded by many as the king of sires. He was one of the first big, beautiful, beautiful deers.
And one of the deer that came out of Max Bove was a deer by the name of Shadow.
Mitzi and I, we truly believe this is the house that Shadow built. I mean, everything you see here on this farm is not possible without Shadow.
Shadow was a game changer in this industry, and Shadow was owned by Billy and Mitzi Sage, lived right here out of Logan, Ohio. Shadow has passed on, but his descendants are alive and well, and they're giant. And now there's a proven living legend. His name is Sudden Express, and he's right here at S S Whitetail Galore.
Or we feel like he's a living legend, just we're just so blessed to have a deer of his caliber and the production he has. We're breeding some of the best sires in Texas.
When the show returns, they've all got the potential to be a giant. They're all bred to be a giant.
That's
I mean,
right.
just take a look at them.
Just had an instance happen today. Had a doe, breech fawns. Will you hold that shut? It's a tense moment.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy.
Probably 75% of the females on this farm have Shadow's mother or Shadow in the pedigree.
But if you haven't heard of Southern Express, he's here. He's on this farm, and we've been here every year that Deer and Wildlife Stories has been in existence. We have been here. Billy has been a wonderful supporter of not just our television show, but the deer industry. And we can go back and we can show you video of Southern Express when he was a yearling and when he was a young deer. And
Yeah.
how old is he now?
He's 5.
So Southern Express has been getting it done, and he is one of the most popular deer in the industry right now. He is absolute giant. But you know, the cool thing that I think about Southern Express is, now you said he's 5.
That's right.
Okay, and now all of a sudden he's proven himself now.
He's already got grandsons that are just crazy.
I mean, just take a look at them, folks. Now you've got blood from a lot of other animals out here too, but the Southern Express is really what's getting it on. And it's obvious if you came in here and you picked out the number 1, 2, and 3 biggest bucks in this pen right here, they all go back to Southern Express.
Yeah.
I know that every year that we come out here, we come early. You're like one of the very first farms that we do. And I think you are the first farm we've done for the last 3 or 4 years, and it is the last week of July. So the deer that we're showing you, they've got another, what, 3 to 4 weeks of growing.
Yeah, and there's no guarantees they'll be the biggest 2-year-olds. But, and we do have a lot of yearlings out here out of other sires. Masterpiece, Is So Easy, you know, Energizer.
Some of your anchor stuff.
That's right, that's right. And those are really nice yearlings too. But the key is if you look at these, you know, in this pen right here, maybe 40 yearlings or whatever, the average is really good. You don't know who's going to be the next superstar because 90% of them are big yearlings.
Most guys don't really want to sell a yearling. I mean, unless they get a lot of money for it,
That's right.
because literally they've all got the potential to be a giant. They're all bred to be a giant.
That's
I mean,
right.
just take a look at them. So any of these, you got a 1 in 40 chance in somebody in here is going to be the best out of the 40 next year.
That's
Which
right.
one's it going to be?
That's right.
All I know is that Southern Express is getting the job done, and now we've got grandsons on the ground to prove it.
Yeah, not many 5-year-old bucks have grandsons. I mean, that's just, you get not big ones, I'll put it that way.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go and take a look at the 2-year-olds now. And if you're wondering what he's using to bring the deer up, peanuts. Peanuts work really good. Holy smokes, what a difference a year makes. So these are the 2-year-olds, and just look at how much bigger they are. I mean, there's some in here that are just absolutely, I mean, there's some that just step, I mean, they're all good, but there's some of them that are just unreal. So tell me, the biggest one in here, who is he out of?
You know, saying the biggest one, let's just say the 4 biggest. It's hard. Here's what's cool this year. We got 4 bucks that are so totally different, but all are huge.
Yep.
In their own way. So we got 1 buck. I don't know. He's really wide, but it's the tallest rack I've ever seen on a whitetail. And he's got 3 or 4 weeks of growing, and we've already named him Jurassic. I mean,
Holy
he's just
smokes.
nuts. I mean, you look at the height on that rack, it's crazy. He's a freeze frame. On Black Shadow, which is Shadow Hardcore Sister, on 2028, Robert Williams 2028, on Sudden Impact. These does kind of build our program. And then we gambled and went and paid a lot of money for these Sudden Impact Sisters, because we just felt like that was the best of the fleece line.
Yeah, you deer hunters out there that are sitting here looking at these deer thinking, no, there's got to be drugs involved, there's got to be something going on because these deer are too big, especially at 2 years old. There is something going on here. It's genetics, isn't it?
That's right. About a quarter of a century on this farm.
And the thing is, it's no secret. He's
No,
telling
no.
you, if you're a deer
That's
breeder,
right.
he's telling you how he's doing it.
Right.
It's just he has 25 years of doing it.
That's right.
Difference is you've got genetics,
Genetics.
and you're taking care of them with great animal husbandry, and look at them.
That's right.
The results show. And Southern Express just keeps getting it done, doesn't he?
It just keeps just keeps getting it done.
When the show returns.
Occasionally things on the farm don't go as expected. She's in trouble, the baby's in trouble. It's a tense moment. Give me some more towels.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds. All right, tell me about that typical buck, that really wide typical buck.
He has no name. We're thinking about maybe just naming him Pedigree because he's express on Shadow on Blue 37 and he's about as pretty as deer I've ever seen in my life.
You know, there's some folks that don't like non-typicals, and there's some folks that don't like typicals. But I think everybody's got to like that deer.
You know, he's well over 30 inside. I've always wanted to raise a deer that would rival Sundowner's beam length at 35 inches. Well, if he'll just keep growing for another 3 weeks, we may be there.
There's a myth that if you bring northern genetics into the South, that you're not going to really be able to raise them good. Today it's going to be about 100 degrees in Ohio.
And that's it. Our heat index has been over 100 every day for the last week and a half.
And you see they're living here good, so does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You know, as I go around your farm, I sit here and folks, I'm a deer farmer, have been for quite some time, and I'm in awe at what I see here. This farm is located about 40 minutes outside of Columbus, Ohio, and if you were to call Billy or Mitzi, his wife, and schedule a farm tour, you could come and you could look at these deer anytime. I mean, the best time to come is this time of year, in the summer. They got fawns on the ground and all. I got this question for you. What advice would you give an existing deer farmer, somebody who's been in the business for 3 years, 5 or 10 years, to help make him more profitable?
So basically, you see that big buck,
Mm-hmm.
you go to that farmer, find out what his pedigree is, you go by his mother, his sister, or something to do with that. So quality, quality, quality.
Every farmer's got a special deer, one that he may not be the biggest or she may not be the best bred, but it's a special deer for some reason. And on this farm, his name is Monster. You come and seen me, huh? How you doing? Well, good afternoon. All right, everybody, go online right now and tell us what this deer's score is going to be now when he finishes out, because what's going to happen is whoever gets closest to the score, Billy Sage is going to send him the antlers. That's right, absolutely free. All you need to do is act right now. This deer's name is Monster. He's still got another 3 to 4 weeks of growing left on him. Well, I smell different, huh? I'm wearing the same clothes I had on earlier. I know, I just smell worse. So what do you think? If you're thinking 200 inches, you go way north of there, I promise you. Would.
So this year we've got, probably 180 fawns or so on the ground right now, expecting a few more, could get around 200 fawns. It's been a really good year. Got some incredible interns helping us this year. These girls been here since May, hadn't missed a day, always smiling, up here at 7 in the morning, 9, 10, 11 at night, they go home. If you want to be a farmer, that's the life of a farmer. If you're a deer enthusiast, I think you're going to really enjoy the video we're about to show you. I want to preface it by saying that it may be considered to be grotesque to some, but it's reality. Occasionally things on the farm don't go as expected, but that's the life of a farm. She's got a baby, it's breech, it's in trouble. Head may be turned, breech. Just put it in God's hand and get to work.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy.
Occasionally things on the farm don't go as expected, but that's the life of a farm. She's got a baby, it's breech, it's in trouble. Head may be turned, breech, whatever. she's in trouble, the baby's in trouble. It's a tense moment, you know, you don't know how things are gonna work out. Just put it in God's hand and get to work.
All right, back up.
Struggling.
She's breathing. It's breathing. It's breathing.
You know, you look at Billy and Mitzi, and I can't think of two other people that are in love with their animals anymore than they are. They absolutely love them. They do everything they can to keep them alive. And I've been out here and I have seen them take care of animals that any other deer farmer would say, throw in the towel, they're done. But not the folks here. I was on the edge of tears watching it.
That's precious, ain't it?
She is so incredible warm. I don't know that I've ever felt one like this. It's a girl. She's ready.
She's ready for a bottle.
She is ready.
Isn't that precious?
That's a miracle. That's just so awesome.
Here you go, baby. You got it. Okay. Let's let her flip-flop around a little bit and we'll try it again. Now she wants to get up and go.
That's cool, Billy.
In my mind, there's no better time to get into the deer industry. It is so cool right now. The education, the things that you can learn. CWD live testing, saving lives. It's just amazing, the technology.
If you've ever thought about getting involved in deer farming, what I would encourage you to do is go online to deerandwildlifestories.com. You can watch every one of our TV shows right there 24/7. Watch them, study them, learn about deer farming, learn about animals, learn about the responsibility that it takes to be able to raise good, healthy, valuable deer. I get some people ask me, what are you for? Are you for high fencing? Are you for low fencing? Are you for deer farming? Or are you for, it doesn't matter. They always want to know what side I'm on. I'm going to tell you what side Keith Warren's on. I'm on the deer side, because when you're on the deer side, you're always on the right side, right? All right, this is from Wayne. He says he lives in Ohio. He says, you always talk about the importance of DNA in deer and how the better the pedigree is, the more valuable the deer is. My question is, what kind of sample do you have to get from deer for DNA? Blood, hair, bones? The answer to that, Wayne, is all the above, blood, hair, and bones. But the most common thing that we use to get DNA off of deer is hair. What we'll wind up doing, underneath the tail, on the bottom of every deer's tail, we pull about 50 hair follicles to make sure you get the roots on them too. They come out rather easily. Take them, put them in a little small envelope and send them into the North American Deer Registry. They'll wind up taking it and analyzing that, get the DNA off of it. And actually the North American Deer Registry has an online service where you get on and not only see where your deer pedigree is, but also see who he's related to. So it's a real cool way to do it. But the answer is you can get DNA from blood, hair, or bones, but the primary way we do it here is with hair. On today's show, you got to see some real magic happen on the program. And whitetail deer are magical, and magic happens all the time on a deer farm. If you'd like more information about the Bone Factory, you can contact Billy Sage. He'd love to show you his place. He's got a lot to show. I'm Keith Warren. I'd like to thank you for watching Deer and Wildlife Stories. Hey, you little piece of miracle. I get people ask me all the time, do you ever get tired of this? Do you ever get tired of doing your job deer farming, visiting deer farms? What do you think? Put it right on your head. I will. God, I love deer. I wish people were as cool as deer. You got an itch? Let me itch it for you. Let me itch it for you. Huh? What? The answer is no. I don't get tired of this.